create a new bucket. The name will be my bucket, and then I'll append my account ID to give it a globally unique name. And here is my account ID, so I'm just going to copy that and append it to my bucket name. And hopefully if you use your own account ID from up here, that will give you a unique name too. And if it doesn't, just add some random numbers on the end and that will make it unique. Region is US East 1, then scroll down and we need to deselect all of the block public access options because we're building a website, so it needs to be publicly accessible. So make sure you've deselected all of these, then scroll down and we need to acknowledge that by deselecting these options, we understand that the objects that we upload to our bucket may become public. And that's exactly what we need for a website. So acknowledge that, then scroll down to the bottom and create bucket. After it's been created, select your bucket, and now we'll upload our website files. So select Upload, Add Files, select the two files that you downloaded, index.html and error.html. Then select Open, scroll down and upload. After the files are uploaded, we can close that screen and then select Properties. And this is where we're going to enable static website hosting. We'll need to scroll down to the end of the page, and that's where you'll find the static website hosting option. Select Edit and Enable. Hosting type is a static website. And then scroll down, and this is where we need to provide the names of our HTML files. So our index document is the default page that you see when you access the website, and it's going to be index.html. And the error document is going to be error.html. After that, we can scroll down and save changes. Now, if we scroll back down to the end of the page, back down to static website hosting, you will find that we now have a static website endpoint. And this is made up of our bucket name, .s3 website US East 1, .amazonaws.com. So now let's try and open this in a new tab. I'll right click and open it in a new tab. Come to my tab, and unfortunately we get a 403 forbidden message. And this error just means that although the website is running, we haven't explicitly allowed permission to read the files that are contained in the bucket. So we'll need to head back to our bucket to update the permissions. Scroll up to the top of the page, select Permissions, and under Access, it's informing us that objects can be public, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are. Because to make our objects publicly readable, we need to add a bucket policy. So scroll down until you get to Bucket Policy, select Edit. Let's first copy the bucket ARN because we're going to need it in a moment. And we're going to use the policy generator to create our policy. So on the right-hand side, select Policy Generator. And this generator is going to build our policy for us. The type of policy is going to be S3 bucket policy. Effect is allow. Principal is asterisk. And that just means anyone. The service is Amazon S3. Then under Actions, I'm going to select Get Object. And there it is. So select that one. And this is going to give read access to the objects in the bucket. Down here, the Amazon ARN is the ARN of our bucket that we copied earlier. So you can just paste it in here. But we also need to add on the end / and asterisk. So it should look like this. And by using this / asterisk notation, this means that the policy will apply to all of the objects in our specified bucket. So now after you've done that, you can select Add Statement. Here's our statement. And then Generate Policy. So here's our policy. Select and copy the entire policy, and then come back to S3 and paste that into your bucket policy. And this is what it should look like. After that, scroll down. We can ignore this error and hit Save Changes. So now, if we refresh the screen using this button, our bucket is now showing as publicly accessible. Great job. So next, select Properties, and we'll scroll down again to the bottom to our static website hosting endpoint. Click on the bucket website endpoint, and there we go. We are now able to access our static website hosted in S3. And then the last thing I wanted to show you is that we can also test that our error page is working. So at the top of your browser, if we type /blah/blah.html, so basically a web page that we know doesn't exist, then hit enter, we can force the error page to be displayed, and there it is. So it's asking, did we mean to go to index.html instead? And we can click on that to be brought back to our index.html. So that